And we're back after about 6.5 seconds. And in those 6.5 seconds, I felt the hesitation of not really knowing what to say. Towards the end of that last video, it sort of lost the flow, and I became a little scattered. And so a part of me was like, a little doubtful in my ability to do this. But I pressed record anyway, and here I am. Let's allow a moment of silence. As I found myself in that moment of silence, I was able to know that it is okay. And in knowing that, I was like, how about we do it on purpose again? Let's just sit in silence. Because there's nothing wrong with it. And I make the rules here. This is about me and my healing. And even though I said, let's sit in silence on purpose, instead of doing so, I began to speak about it. And so the moment of silence on purpose didn't really happen. Let's do it now. And not think about what to say. Let's just sit in silence and clear the mind. I really enjoyed that. Not just allowing myself to sit in silence, but doing so without putting the pressure of coming up with what to say next. Just trusting. As I was sitting there in silence, I was thinking about faith, not trying to force it or think. I was thinking about faith, having faith in myself. Because in this moment, I am in the flow. I have accessed the flow. I am talking without even thinking. And I have been here before, many times, and it's always nice to come back to this place. It's always nice. Just as it's always nice to have some birds come by. Will that put me out of the flow? It could. It possibly could. But based on what I'm experiencing now, I don't think it did. Because I still feel as though I'm in the flow. I feel as though I'm still in the flow. It's that familiar experience of speaking and knowing that I'm speaking about something, but sort of having no idea of what I'm even speaking about. But I'm speaking about something because I'm speaking. I'm going to sit in silence again and not try to think of what to say. I'm just going to have faith that once I choose to begin speaking again, whenever that is, it will come naturally. I'm recognizing that I'm sort of figuring out the flow. I'm making sense of it. I'm recognizing that it's about faith. It's not about forcing. It's not about figuring out what to say in this moment. Oh, I love it. It's meta. This is so meta. And I've talked about my experience with meta before. So for me to recognize the meta in this moment, I'm in the flow talking about the flow. It's so meta. And I love it. I love that. And now I'm not talking about, and now I'm not in the flow talking about my experience of being in the flow. I'm talking about my perception of that being meta. And how much I love to stumble upon those types of perceptions, those types of qualities. For me, whenever I find, and I've spoken about this before, but I'm going to do it again. Whenever I find something meta within myself, within my experience, it's always at the core of something. It's in a place where deep healing is possible. It's in this place where possibilities are possible. Oh, that's meta too. I love that. But to get back to the point, I'm sort of figuring out the flow, which sort of seems opposite because flow just happens, but that's what I'm making sense of. I think in the past, whenever I would sit in silence or allow myself to sit in silence, I'd be putting effort into finding something to say. It was this pressure. But instead, I'm having faith. And in this moment, I'm experiencing the flow. I'm not thinking. I'm in the flow. And it is freaking awesome. So not only did I create a video, my last video, which it exceeded my expectations. Now I've made another video, or I am making another video, in which I am accessing the flow that I've experienced before. And I'm just thankful and proud. And it's sort of like, now I'm beginning to think a little bit, but that's so okay. It's sort of like I knew that this was a huge opportunity for me to keep moving forwards with this project, that it was a gift, that it was an amazing opportunity to prove to myself and let go of the past and I'm perceiving this, I'm perceiving how it has gone as sort of positive feedback. It's like, you made the right decision, and these are the signs. And how about, this is actually interesting. I'm loving how this is going. As I said, I perceived myself sort of fall out of the flow. I felt myself needing to sort of think about not what I wanted to say, but really access certain thoughts in order to put them together, in order to share what I wanted to share. I had to pause and ponder to put it together. It was very unflow. It was very And as I'm speaking right now, this is where I am in this moment, which is again kind of meta. It is meta. So it's actually interesting because I made sense of the flow, and here I am making sense of this other way that is not the flow. And as I'm beginning to speak about that, I feel myself going back into the flow because I feel myself not really thinking, not sort of diving down and trying to figure out, piece the things together. And now I'm sort of like mapping out how it's like, all right, I accessed flow, and then I sort of went down, and then found it again, and then lost it, and found it, and I love how this video is going. I'm finding a lot of meaning because this is new for me to access flow and then sort of gain an understanding of it and then perceive this other way that isn't flow and then understand that and then be able to recognize the meta. There's been so much meta in this video, which to me is just so comforting. It is so, so comforting. I'm loving how this video has gone, and I'm getting chills. Let's end this video here.